And we just want to talk about some general news and hopefully give you some insights, some perspectives that isn't being talked about. Um,
Before we do that, I have questions.
okay.
Um,
I just jump into it. I'm like, go, go.
what what are you working on with Beery Construction?
Oh, I'm doing a basement remodel, bathroom, theater.
A theater. Oh,
Yeah.
fun. Yeah.
We put an elevator in this gentleman's house a year ago. So,
What?
yeah.
What kind of elevator?
Uh, an elevator goes up and down. It's
Yeah.
kind of like a forklift
Yeah.
and it rolls up a rail. I don't
Is it like in a closet or
Oh, it's
it's got the two doors and does it have buttons like in a hotel or whatnot?
yes, basement level,
That is,
lobby,
that's cool. How big's the theater?
residential. It's probably like 14 feet by.
Oh, wow. When's he out of town next? No, just kidding.
He spies on me. He's got cameras in the building,
Oh,
in the house. So he's like, I was like, oh, I got this question. I know I saw you guys. Great.
nice.
There's no sneaking around.
One thing that's really cool too, I get to steal Rick uh, next week for a few days to kind of see what we do in the IT world. It's gonna be fun as get to see the what because most people think of the IT we're just behind a computer doing stuff, but it's honestly more physical than it is what we do. What the behind the computer is tech support, and
You lost me at physical.
yeah, we make heavy stuff move.
Yeah. So my lean, strong, fit guys are going to join your fat guys. And so it's difficult. um,
Heck yeah, and Rick's gonna kill it as he does at everything else he does. Any specials at Rick's at all?
we've just been on cruise control. Summer's kind of the slow time. Our tourism in Moses Lake isn't
Yeah,
like, I mean, people are outside. They're at the lake and the sand dunes and stuff. So I just kind of let this year kind of just cruise.
yeah,
Previous years, I kind of hit it hard, and I was like, it wasn't getting any results. Like, why fight it?
yeah.
And
One thing,
you know, the fall we're ramping up for fall,
yeah,
and the mechanical bull's back and running.
that's good. That's good.
Broke the shaft. No more doubles.
Oh,
Uh,
you did doubles and it
I,
broke?
I had doubles on. Well, it broke with a single per, but the doubles a lot of weight. And
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
anyway, so it's just gonna be.
Yeah, those aren't cheap.
Yeah, I had to like, yeah,
One thing, I'm just bringing this up for Rick now, but if Rick okays it, I'm going to create like a Cash App and a few other places where if you want to help fund the sprinkler system, rather than going through GoFundMe or whatever he's doing, give Sendgo or whatever.
yeah. I did give Send Go. Yeah.
So if you want to rather do it Cash App, Apple Pay, we're going to set all that up because we want comedy back here in Moses Lake and we want to be able to do some live shows.
Yeah, yeah. And I've kind of let that just kind of run on idle too, this whole sprinkler fire
Yeah.
suppression system. And so I'll probably start focusing on that.
Yeah. So if you're watching or now or after you came back and it's recorded, you'll start seeing links on the video for the to be able to give to the sprinkler fund for Cash App, for Apple Pay, for Zelle, all those things. Because the community loves you, Rick, and they love what
Not,
your
not
vision.
all of them. I picked up a hater this week. So
Oh, that's right. I remember that.
I don't know if you guys saw the video online, but I get a call and there's like, hey, Rick, there's a homeless guy on your roof.
On your
What?
he probably heard you tell the story about Subway is why
Yeah.
in Vegas.
He's like, Subway in Vegas, stay warm next to that heater up on the roof, like it's still summer. Uh, so I show up, I grab a ladder. I don't know what I'm getting into. And I don't call the fire department or police, so they should send their tax dollars my way for doing their job. But nice guy, just, has his issues.
If you work in accounting at the fire department or police, the address is 813
Yeah.
West 3rd Avenue if you want to send those
I'm
funds.
sure I saved the government $1,000.
Hey, yeah, again, go ahead and send it to Rick's at 813 West 3rd Avenue.
$1,000 would be nice. I will solve your homeless problem. No, but he, nice guy, a little whatever. But he threw his cell phone on my roof because I don't know, he was having a
Wow.
moment.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and then someone's called said you were what?
He's like gave his phone Red Bull and threw it on the roof.
Yeah, it does have wings.
No, it doesn't.
But then you said you got a hater because someone saw your video.
They felt I was exploiting their mental health. Uh, from my perspective, I'm just having fun with it. Why get mad?
Yeah.
You know,
You probably caught a lot of it on camera too, right?
just him coming down the ladder.
Yeah.
Um, and he was going down the ladder wrong, and he was nervous up there. Like he stacked stuff on the dumpsters and climbed up, but he couldn't get back down. Anyway, like, hey, you need some help? Why don't you turn around and come down?
I'm laughing right now. Am I exploiting their mental health?
But but someone's like, why'd you call the fire department? I go, I have my own truck and ladder.
It wasn't a cat, dang it.
Yeah, I'm like, I got it. I don't really call the police for anything. Usually, it's somebody else that
Yeah.
calls in for help. And I'm like,
Also, one other thing too, Rick, for the first time since I'd known him, took a vacation. I think you went down to San Diego.
I did. I went to San Diego and great time to go to the beach and surf. I went sailing.
Nice.
I went to a musical called Beautiful.
Okay.
Uh,
So it was about me.
yeah, it was about you. Uh, really great week, but it gave me time to reflect.
Yeah.
I've been grinding. I had a couple businesses. I've been grinding my whole
Yeah.
life, and I've sacrificed having fun. And I was like, you know what? I'm almost 50, and I don't want to
Dang, that's old.
retire when I'm 80 and roll up in a wheelchair to put my feet in the sand. Because the odds are, your
Yeah, it's true.
opportunity to, you know,
But look at me, like I'm walking with a walking stick,
yeah,
like
yeah. I don't want
trust
to.
me.
I don't want to end up like Donnie. I'll miss out on surfing and all these wonderful things.
Yeah, it's so
He's
true.
running to the hospital at what 50,
Man,
cancer, all this stuff. I'm
yeah.
like, uh,
Now he's exploiting my health.
yeah, we'll get to your mental health in
Oh, that'll take at least 2 or 3 shows.
a minute. But yeah, I've been thinking about, man, I need to have fun now and
Yeah,
enjoy life. So,
decompress.
so I'm planning. I like to sail.
Yeah.
I know Moses Lake is a little isolated on that. You'll see my sailboat up
Have you done Lake Union or Lake Washington? I
there.
hear it's awesome to sail
I've
that.
just done the Moses Lake thing because it's so close.
Yeah,
It's like I could jump on, sail a couple hours, come back.
yeah.
Um, but I'm probably gonna sail to Hawaii here in
What?
April.
Oh, speak of which, way off the subject, but some good news on our end for Black Tiger Technologies. We just expanded into Hawaii. I thought we'd always be in the lower 48, but now we're on all the islands in Hawaii doing tech work.
Sweet. So
So
when can I start working?
Wednesday.
Wednesday. That's local though. That's not
Oh yeah,
Hawaii.
but we'll definitely be doing some trips. One of the guys we brought on has a house that would put all of us up right off the beach, and
Perfect.
yeah, and we as a business talk about we grind our guys so hard, especially our leaders. We need to get them on a retreat or something. So maybe that'll segue into something like that, a Hawaii trip.
You never know. It'll be fun. Um,
So you got some interesting info on what's going on in the world, huh?
well, yeah, most of we can jump into the pagers blowing up. That's just normal news, right?
Normal news.
2,700
Is
pagers.
that how many it was?
Now, the question is, why pagers? Why in the Middle East are these guys, select few, using
Yeah,
pagers? Why not a smartphone?
yeah. What they said, one of their leaders, I don't know if you've read this, but they so they could avoid their enemy.
Yeah,
They wanted to do lower technology,
yeah,
but what had happened is their enemy intercepted the delivery and planted bombs.
yeah.
They're trying to avoid us. Okay, well let's blow them up then.
And they know that the ones use. I mean, who uses a pager today? And don't think that
Doctors. That's about it.
Doctors, because they don't want the phone going crazy.
Yeah, doctors have pagers. That's all I know.
But not many places use pagers really. And with technology, some of these third world countries have better cell phone service and better cell phone tech than we have in the United States.
Yeah.
Um, we, I hate to take this tangent, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Um,
Heck yeah. I love tangents.
so you make your money in the West, but you live better overseas.
Hmm.
And, you know, some of these other countries, yeah, better cell phone service, better technology, you know, maybe they test them there. I don't know, but they have cell phones that are better than we got here. Like they got really cool stuff and it's cheaper. Anyway, uh, it's just interesting, right? And, um, some of your if you've never left the United States, you have this idea that the United States is the best place in the world. And they're like, if you don't like that, leave. And I was like, well, I have lived overseas. I've been to China, I've been to Costa Rica, Guatemala, Belize, Honduras, Philippines, whatever. So I've traveled a little bit. I still haven't been to Europe, but I have noticed that in these other countries, people are happier. And the United States has all these wonderful things. My point is, there are pros and cons to everywhere you live. And when I was in China, I had, in some aspects, more freedoms than I have here in the United States. Um, and that's really strange. It would be strange for you to go to Russia, the Russia Federation, which is a democracy now, it's not communist since 1991. It would be strange for you to go there and be like, oh, they have 33 political parties and they can, you have more freedoms there and a 13% tax there. you know, Free medical, and as a foreigner, you got to pay your $50 to go get your x-rays and whatever, but it's still cheaper than here.
And not only that, but when you're in those other countries, if you want to go to outside of the U.S., if you want to go to another country, it's so cheap to get there either by train, bus, or airfare.
Yeah.
Like we're taxed to the ears over here too. So
Yeah. So you make your money here and then go travel, go live abroad.
yeah.
500 bucks a month. You can live nice,
Oh yeah.
get a nice apartment there, a couple thousand a month. You can live quite
The
nicely.
buses over there are just amazing. They all have charging ports, and some of them got TVs in them. And
Also, education wise, considered that Russia, China, they're graduating more engineers
oh wow,
than we are. Like we'll jump into Ukraine a little bit, but with Ukraine,
yeah,
the weapon systems we're using, that they get a few strikes off, like, oh, we're kicking Russia's butt. Their engineers get involved and they mess with the GPS systems, and now our weapon systems don't work accurately. Like they're like, oh well, if we do this, and now their stuff can't land. So they're hacking, and a lot of the systems
yeah.
that would work in the Middle East aren't working in Russia because they've manipulated the GPS. And so they're like, we need longer range missiles. We'll teach them. Uh, and their engineers are like, okay, well, maybe we'll turn the GPS back to where you sent it and you bomb yourself. You run that risk.
Yeah, it's true.
Like, oh, it's a turn that.
Everything is hackable these days.
Yeah, so technology is, but they've been able to solve and get through some of our complex weapon systems.
Yeah.
And the Middle East wasn't able to do that, but Russia has been making some of our stuff kind of not so cool.
There's some guy that a lot of big people look up to, what people call important people, and he's part of the World Economic Forum, I think. He said that they're working on hacking humans. Like, how crazy! Like I just said a moment ago, everything's hackable.
Well, we're very conditioned and brainwashed. Just as soon as you're born into this world, you're conditioned and brainwashed.
Oh yeah.
You just have to accept that.
Have you read Brave New World by Aldous Huxley?
I wrote the book.
You're not Aldous Huxley, but it talks about how they brainwash starting in infantry, like when Infancy.
The infantry is brain hospitals,
Yes, they are.
but everything is.
Yeah,
All our conditioning, our school, or your schoolings, right, for you to get a job, not
yeah.
self-employed. I mean, everything is.
And all of a sudden, it became 3 meals a day. But way back when, it was you would eat a little bit when you were hungry, and have one main meal each day.
Yeah,
But then they turned it into breakfast, lunch, and dinner because it was more profitable in capitalism.
yeah,
And they convinced you, oh, wow, it's noon. Let's all go do lunch. It's 6 o'clock. Let's do dinner.
yeah. Yeah, we've scheduled it.
Yeah.
Food group, pyramid, whatever, and everybody's fat.
Thanks a lot. I lost about 50 pounds, by the way.
Oh,
So,
have you?
yeah, I'm not fat anymore. Nice try, jerk. Jeez.
I've lost like a inch on my waist. I did that carnivore diet for the
Oh,
past
yeah.
month. I I did do a cheat day on Sunday. We
Yeah.
have like a potluck here at Rick's on Sunday, so I'd come here and just eat. I'm still eating good food for the most part. I
Yeah.
don't eat junk, but like yeah, I've lost the little love handles that are hard for her. I was like, they're getting
Nice.
smaller.
I'm on the cancer diet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, it's
Don't recommend it.
don't recommend it. Cancer diet. Oh man.
I'm told that probably my hair is going to fall out soon. So I start radiation next week.
Yeah. But anyway, you're back to the pagers,
Yes,
right?
that's what we were talking about the whole time.
Infiltrating the supply chain
There we
on a
go.
primitive system
Primitive.
and exploiting that.
Hmm.
Exploiting primitive. Oh, is there an echo in the room? Uh, it's interesting that what they thought would be their saving grace was manipulated. Um, but you can almost look at anything in your life, any group, any whatever. They're like, oh, we're going to do this as an advantage. And it can be infiltrated, manipulated, whatever. So easy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Hopefully not with this thing, but like, they can infiltrate our food.
That's why there's so much fear about AI because like like the powers that be are worried that the AI will just answer the truth, and they don't want people to know everything that they know.
Well, even AI being sentient or knowing a lot, it's still limited. I mean, it can be as smart as 1,000 people, 1,000,000 people, all the people on Earth combined. It could be that smart, but as human beings, we're really kind of not that brilliant.
I don't think people understand how much AI. I know it wasn't part of our topic, how much it's being used, but here in Moses Lake, they use it for their multi-agency center, Mac dispatch.
Yeah, I called it the other day. So I got home and there was a police card under my door, and
Yeah,
it said, "Hey, call this number. Here's your police report claim for accidents, whatever." And I was like, "What in the world's going on?" I'm looking at my cars in the driveway. I'm like, "I don't get it." Some got stolen from the neighbor across the street. They
oh,
put the car
wrong
under,
house.
but I didn't know. So I call up and I talk to the AI and I said, "Hey, I got this card under my door. It has this police report. I don't know what this is about." And it hung up on me.
Pissing off AI now.
I called back and ran through it again. And then after about 5 minutes, and mine was probably more complex because it was kind of unknown. I don't know why I got this car, but I got this police report. So they finally, after 5 minutes, transferred me to
Does not compute.
a phone message. And it was like, "Thanks for calling Most Lake PD. Go screw yourself." After I said, "Son."
After the beep.
Anyway, they called me back. You're a beep. But I'm like, so offended. So finally, someone called me back and explained what was going on. And I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. But no, I don't have a ring phone or camera footage.
Oh, do you have ring? Do you have a ring doorbell? We should put one up at your house.
Yeah, so I can see, be it more annoyed. Yeah. uh,
No, so the government can watch you more.
well, yeah. So I don't want to end up like P Diddy.
Oh
You film everything. Then
man,
you self-incriminate, right?
bro, that guy really did, man. He did a lot to himself.
Well, it makes you wonder about the one-hit wonders and those that got their platinum albums.
Yeah. It's said that he pretty much sits high up on the pyramid on the music scene.
I wouldn't doubt it. I'd like to see
Tell
if he sings.
tell the audience what your buddy said. It was a Hollywood bodyguard about that
Yeah, so
situation.
Eric Thompson, yeah, he was a celebrity bodyguard, and when he first started, he was doing rap stars. So he was bodyguarding Biggie when he was the day he was killed. So there's his, his group was bodyguarding Biggie. Uh, Puff Daddy at the time was like, "Hey," at like lunch, "Hey, we don't need you guys anymore. My guys got it covered." And they're like, "Are you sure?" Whatever. So he's like, "Okay." So the professionals pack their bags and leave. And then a few hours later, Biggie's dead. So my friend was like, "If I was there, he would not have died." He's like, if our team was there, he would not have died. We would have prevented all the situations that would have put that at risk.
So crazy.
But even with uh, Diddy, Puff Daddy, whatever you want to call them, when they do bodyguard some of these hot shots, they're like, "Oh, don't worry about that," and they're like, "No, you can't do that. That puts you at risk." Sometimes they do it anyway, um, but it raises the question: was Diddy involved with taking Biggie out?
Hmm.
Was Biggie a threat, or was there an issue there? You know, uh, that it raises that question to me if he's working his way up the chain there. But yeah, that's interesting, interesting news or insight, I would say.
And a lot of people just think that these guys are just doing music, but like they'll ask, what are they doing with their money? And I don't know how many. Like it's told TD Jakes would go to Diddy parties. Um,
Everybody's dirty.
yeah,
And right now they're arresting the black guy. What about the white guys? Epstein,
yeah.
whatever. I mean, Epstein and Diddy are probably kind of similar
Oh yeah,
profile to a certain degree, but that laundry list of people, odds are the I hate to even say this. Odds are the government's going to keep those videos and all this stuff, and they're just going to take those players and say, "You play ball, or we're going to put your video out there and destroy you." Here's leaked footage from P. Diddy's house of Will Smith. And like, you play ball, or we'll destroy you. They'll probably keep it and, and use it as a power tactic. I or they'll be like, some of these guys are too big to fail. So, but I think they'll use it to extort or manipulate people.
yeah. Do you think Diddy runs the label, or does the label run Diddy?
I don't know. That's above my pay grade.
It's still like I hate calling him Diddy because it was always Puff Daddy when I was growing up.
Yeah.
But he evolved.
No, I don't want to see his Diddy.
Have you evolved, Rick?
Have I evolved? It's a process. Yeah.
And what exactly was Diddy arrested for?
Racketeering. Basically, he was like sex trafficking and doing a bunch of shenanigans at these parties, drugs, dope,
Yeah,
sex, forcing people to do things. And if he can get your rear end, you can make money.
yeah, getting dirt on you so that he can control you. Maybe.
I, I'm sure it was a bit of everything.
Huh.
I'm sure you know, people of power, and
Yeah.
it's not the first time people have used the rear end to, you know, show their power or dominance,
What do you mean by rear end?
doggy style, doing, the soul train. It's not the first time that stuff is used to show dominance, power, authority. I mean, look at the animal kingdom.
Yeah.
You'll
Oh yeah,
see
like
ants line up
I'll
with
see a
soul
female
train.
dog try to hump another dog, and like, what are they doing? The kid will say, like, has
It's
nothing to do with that. It's dominance.
it's basic animal instinct dominance.
Yeah.
I own you.
You're my bee.
Yeah, yeah.
Look, Rick's mom, I didn't say the word, and I just said B.
Yeah, try to keep it clean for you. Um,
I thought it.
anyway, it's just interesting what's going on in the news, and
Yeah.
there in my mind, everyone, the higher up you go, is a little bit dirty. If you're clean and they can't have dirt on you, they don't. They won't promote you.
Yeah.
How are you supposed to bow down and play the game? I think that's one of the issues with Trump. Normally, Democrat, Republican, you have two wings of the rotten bird. They know the game, the system. They know who to bow down to,
Yeah.
and play the game. So, uh, it, the only place that wins an election is the government. It doesn't matter what side the government wins.
Yeah. So what you're getting at, I think, is that they'll a politician like, hey, I know you got your morals, but $250,000 that change your mind?
Yeah,
But you can't
it's
do that
not
with
you
Trump.
doing the bad. You keep your morals. Just
Yeah.
turn a blind eye to this. So I think with Trump being an outsider, he wasn't supposed to win the first time.
Yeah. Hillary's supposed to win.
Yeah. So, but there's a risk to that.
Yeah.
What will these people do to keep him out? And if he does
For
win,
assassination attempts.
yeah. And if he does win, what will they do to stifle his potential?
Yeah.
So if he does win, I believe we run the risk of the powers that be, if you believe in
Yeah.
that, will could pull the economic rug out from underneath them.
We had 3.5 years of just impeachment trials when he was president.
Yeah, it's like they keep you busy. So how can he implement policy if he's in
Yeah.
BS stuff? So you run that risk. They can yank the economy. They're like, well, let's crash the dollar, and then they can blame Trump for it.
That's a lot like what happened with Andrew Jackson when he was refusing to renew the charter for First American Bank, and because he's like, why are we using someone else's money when we can just have our own currency? And I don't like that we're bowing to this um, private entity. And so he said, I'm not going to renew their charter. You know the story, right?
So the
Yeah, and
former president of the United States.
yeah, and so what he did, just to sum it up, is that he refused, and then so the bank, the guy at the bank, really just started calling his debts in and saying to everybody, "Fine, I want everybody's money back now." And so all the people that supported Andrew Jackson at that point started going to Andrew like, "Dude, just renew it, please. I'm going to lose my company." And he didn't. And then finally, like this guy at the bank, it's a crazy story. He showed his teeth way too early, and then all those same people went like, "Wait a second, man! One person shouldn't have this much power." And Andrew Jackson ended up winning, and the charter never got renewed with the First American Bank.
Well,
And
they just
Don-
created something else later.
yeah, they did. They did the Fed.
The Fed.
Yeah, but Donald Trump, like, he doesn't need their money. In fact, didn't he donate his salary to certain causes or something? He didn't take a salary when he was president.
Well, yeah, he did not. And people can see that as commendable. He has so much money, it could look,
Yeah,
politicians could play that any way they want to, but
yeah,
uh, not too many people donate their salaries like that. But
yeah.
he's in a position where he can. Um,
And think about this too. Like this comes up since we're talking about Donald Trump. He doesn't have to run for president. If he were to not run for president, his personal life would be a lot easier. Don't you agree?
of course, I would agree with that. But probably any politician,
Yeah,
if he
like
would just retire on some island, his life would be.
when I'm watching the news and say, "Oh man, it would have been better off if the assassin killed him." Like, what kind of world are we living in now when they're saying, "Yeah, murder the guy"?
You know what? But I think those are just opinions people are saying. If this stuff happened to Biden, you would have knee jerk reaction people saying the same thing they said about Trump. Oh, they missed. They shouldn't have missed. Oh, I can't. They would say the same thing, and so I don't give it a lot of credibility because
I
the
could get
people
that.
I've asked about the opposite, you know. If someone shot at Kamala, you would have one side saying, "I can't believe they missed. They should have finished the job."
Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right.
This is let me tie this into something else.
Okay.
the if you want to get an assassination done, it needs to be done by a Mexican. In Mexico, in their last election, they had 28 candidates that were assassinated. It's, kind of maybe it's racist, maybe it's scary, but I was like,
So that's not four, right? You didn't just say four?
not four attempts. I said 28 people running for the Mexican presidential election
Yeah.
were assassinated.
So not like two or three,
And this is this past year,
not like two or three, but 28.
28.
Wow.
So I was like, you know, if you're trying to get Trump higher, no, it's good.
They'll mow your lawn too. I should. Can we bleep that out? Can we bleep? I'm sorry.
No, but you know, it's a crazy world we live in. So Trump's had what, three, four attempts?
Oh yeah, that we know of.
Yeah, and anyway, it's interesting. This isn't an isolated thing. This is happening around.
How many attempts were there to assassinate Joe Biden? Zero.
I'm sure there may have been a threat or two, but attempts, no,
Yeah.
I don't know of any. Um,
So the heat is definitely up. Is all I'm saying.
yeah, and we'll jump into this some more. So the next topic I want to talk about is let's talk about Ukraine and Azov.
Azov.
Azov. Azov Battalion. So my understanding is after World War II, a
Yep.
Nazi battalion,
Yep. Elite. Yeah. The
elite,
kind of like the SEALs.
their little special forces back in the day, they fled to an area which is now known as Ukraine.
Yeah. Well, it's part of Russia at the time.
And anyway, they camped out there. They helped train army, whatever,
Yeah.
all this wonderful stuff in Ukraine was going on. So this ties into the second shooter. So the Azov Battalion, uh, the Ryan Booth, I guess, was recruited.
Roth. Is it Roth or Ruth?
Routh. Roth. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's Roth. But anyway.
So he was trained by Azov.
And promoted them as well too.
And, yeah, and he promoted him. You see a video. I went to Ukraine and I wanted to da 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 da. What they're not telling you is he's somehow connected to this group.
Yeah.
I don't know how much they trained him, but anyway, there may be a reason why he was using an AK or SKS type rifle.
Oh, you were saying that earlier. Yeah.
Russian.
Wow. Yeah, that does make sense.
Yeah. Or Ukrainian. I mean, AK, that side of the world kind of ties together. So there may be a reason why he had that and not a AR platform.
I watched
it doesn't matter.
I watched part of his video, and he was saying there should be hundreds of thousands of people here helping Ukraine. Like, he was in deep with them.
Yeah. So, and I did post an opinion on the AK-47.
Yeah.
I took a front sight course, and there was like 40 of us. I had an AR, and it was like 20 with ARs and 20 with
AKs.
AKs. There was like one dude with a 308.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
308 Win Mag.
And $1,000. Anyway, and he was a Marine. But anyway, I was very impressed with some of the AKs that were being shot. Now I get the shooter makes a huge difference, but there was a guy I was next to shooting, and I'm telling you, with his AK, he outshot everybody.
Dang.
I mean, we did the standing unsupported at 50 yards.
Yeah.
I mean, he was like, I'm like, oh my gosh, we're with rifles and we're like, had larger groups, and I was like, oh my gosh, this guy's like incredible. And it's like, what's the deal with your AK? And he's like, if you have a decent weapon and a decent shooter, you can do phenomenal things. But even at 200 yards, he was still tack driving the thing, and I was like, oh, yeah, you got to get down and you adjust your sight, because you have more drop with an AK. Where AR, you didn't really have to do that. But he was tack driving the thing, so don't discredit them.
My understanding with the two, I've never fired an AK, but they're heavier but they're more durable. Like you can get them dirty and you can still fire around through them.
Yeah, they had less jams
Yep, and
than the ARs do.
ARs are lighter, but you definitely want to make sure if you drop it in the mud, you're gonna definitely want to clean it out a little bit.
I don't know the weight, but I didn't notice it being any heavier. It's,
Yeah,
you know, just is what it
I
is.
never had an AK or an SKS or any of
It's
that.
not a bad round. I mean, at close range, it has a little more knockdown.
How'd the guy with the 308 do?
He did great.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a Marine. He did great.
Oh.
So, but yeah, it was interesting. But you saw a variety of people. But some of this one guy with the AK, I think he dominated the day.
Wow.
But I mean, he was a good shooter. He had a great AK, and so, you know, it is what it is.
Did you? Sorry, way off the subject. Did you ever fire my Ruger LR carbine when we went to the gun range?
I don't know. Maybe not. I don't
Yeah, because I wonder how good that would have been, like a long or a 9 millimeter long rifle. Does it even have that kind of range that you guys? What were you shooting at?
a 9 millimeter.
Yeah,
F at your, I would say. I mean, yeah, I've seen guys shoot a 1911 at 100 yards and hit a target, a handgun.
yeah. Oh, wow.
He was a competition shooter, so I mean, but I was like, whoa.
What were you guys shooting at, like 250, or what
Now
were you guys shooting at that?
it loses its velocity much faster and it has more drop, and
Yeah,
I would say all handguns.
I'm talking about my rifle, my 9 millimeter LR carbine rifle.
It's still a 9 millimeter,
Yeah,
so it's not going to have a knockdown. You start, and I'm not a scientist. So you get to your 100 yards, 200 yards. I think it's going to be more of a flesh wound, and
yeah.
I think nine's going to have trouble going through you anyway to begin with. Some nines bounce off of windshields.
So I was like, you feel that?
Yeah, but all handguns are going to have a similar uh, rating
Yeah.
from handgun rounds to rifle rounds. So, I mean, if you have a 9 millimeter rifle and you want to, shoot some animals, I would definitely stay under 50 yards,
Okay.
would be my opinion, but I don't know enough about it. That's just me using common
What
sense.
about my Ot 6?
Yeah, you should go 55 yards.
Was it an Ot 6?
Now you on six, yeah, you can out there.
I hit a,
Yeah,
was it 400?
yeah,
I was like, from bullseye.
yeah.
Like, I was pretty impressed.
On six, classic round.
Yeah.
They use them. I mean, World War I, World War II,
Yeah.
sniper stuff. It's a classic. But a lot of rounds are like derived from that. So
Yeah.
those classics, right? You cut the shell down and you can put a 45 in it
Oh, wow.
back. So it's like you start seeing where they get their ideas from,
Yeah.
right? 30-06, you cut the shell not in half, but basically you cut it in half. You can load it, put a 45 in it, and
Yeah.
that's where that round kind of things come from.
Yeah.
Then they can neck it down, and you got 270,
Yeah.
280. Now, what's interesting is you can fire through it. Let's go with Moss and Nagant.
Okay.
It shoots a 7.62 by 54R.
Okay.
So you can shoot a 30-06 through it.
Oh, wow.
You can shoot a 270 through it.
Oh, dang.
Now it's looser in the barrel,
Yeah.
but in an emergency, you can shoot that. So, but a 30-06 can also shoot a 270 through
Oh,
it.
I didn't know that.
So again, in an emergency, because it's going to
Yeah.
float down the barrel more, not be tight
Yeah.
on the thing. But at 100 yards, you can do some damage with it. But not many people know that. So the Russians designed their stuff to use our ammo,
Oh.
you know, at least one shot. It may have a little more trouble extracting, but it'll slide in the chamber.
Doesn't it all go off in NATO standards? Or a lot of it?
I don't know enough about NATO standards to.
Oh.
What
So
does that mean?
going back to the AK then, with what the distance he was at, that would have been a good takedown weapon for
Well, I
Roth,
think
right? Or
I think he was waiting for Trump to get into range. He
yeah,
was at the
a hole
green
before, yeah,
hole before, so I think when he got to that other hole, he would have been. Yeah.
And he was wearing a camouflage shirt. You know that was
with,
pink.
and he had armor hanging up. So because his armor took rounds, I think he had armor hanging, and so he just had a little slit with him through it. So
Yeah.
if they didn't catch him, he would have had a.
I made a joke just there. Like his camouflage was a pink shirt. Like, did he want to get caught?
maybe maybe he needed that when he got back into public.
'Cause you don't see a lot of pink out in nature, aside from like floral arrangements and whatnot.
You also don't see the color black in nature. So browns and other things, when they're shadowed, look black.
Yeah, yeah,
So typically, camouflage with black in it isn't advisable.
no.
So
But my point is, Ryan Roth, Ruth, whatever his or her name is, he was wearing a pink shirt and sitting at a chain link fence.
yeah, I don't know much about that, but if you want to buy one of Ryan Roth's pink shirts, we have them on sale too.
1999.
Yeah, Azov, kind of interesting. So more on Ukraine. Uh, let's see. Look at my notes here. So, oh yeah, so both shooters um, were in commercials, right?
Mm,
Supporting, yeah, one with BlackRock, one with something else,
yeah.
supporting the military-industrial complex. You're like, huh? And so it's very interesting. Like, anyway, so don't be in a commercial, and you probably won't be a shooter. So, uh,
And media, here's an advice for you people in the media. If you're going to call somebody a MAGA Trump supporter, do your homework first. Because, like, Ryan had a big old Biden Harris sticker on his truck, quite a few social media posts about his hatred of Donald Trump and his like for Kamala Harris. So, so do your homework before you say and make it yourself look even dumber than you are, because people are catching on nowadays. That's why most people don't trust regular media.
yeah, and I get when you're promoting news, they knee jerk react to the first thing they see, and
Yeah,
then they got to backtrack and update as they go. But it's hard to take away your first words. See more on Ukraine. So I wanted to paint a scenario. So Russia, Ukraine,
yeah,
NATO, all this stuff. I think a lot of it has to do with natural resources. So Russia has 75 trillion in natural resources, right?
that's a lot.
We need their titanium for space, right?
Yeah.
They're sanction. Oh, except send us some titanium. We got aircraft to build, right? Um, Ukraine has some. So Russia has 75 trillion in natural resources.
Yeah.
The United States has 45 trillion.
Oh wow.
So
What is ours mostly? You said I have titanium in my leg. Just
oh
side
yeah,
note.
we need the yeah uranium from Russia. We need all sorts of stuff from them. United States, I'm sure it's what
Coal, gold.
copper,
Yeah.
all the basic stuff we're using. People, no, just kidding. Great resource for slave labor, people in general.
Oil. We have the most oil here than what we don't use it.
Yeah, that's a thing too. Um, and I don't know how it's divided up. It's just these are just generic numbers that were given to me. So
Yeah.
uh, put that in perspective. Like, why do we want to get NATO into the in Ukraine? Now, imagine if Russia or China dropped into Mexico and says, "Hey, we're going to set up a base here,
Yeah, that would not go over well.
and when we're done with that, we're going to put one in Canada."
Oh dang. Yeah.
You know,
We'd have troops lining the border.
do you think the United States would not throw a fit?
Oh yeah. No, there'd be, like I said, troops lining each border.
Yeah. I mean, we had the Cuba incident,
Yep.
which,
Cuban Missile Crisis.
yeah, which we're like, oh my gosh, and it's still kind of a funny thing, but like, uh, but just imagine, right? So, uh, you know, Russia does not want NATO in their backyard.
No.
Like, why? We don't want the West presence here.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, you know, you could take a step back and go, okay, from Russia's perspective, what do you see happening?
Hmm.
You know, the West is coming in, Ukraine has its corruption, and then you got Putin that's like, hell no. And I think he's been pretty careful.
Oh yeah, like one the first thing, the only thing he was bombing was the bio weapons labs.
I think the West, us, we want a World War III
Wow, a lot of people do. I know
for
Iran does.
putting in what we want to use long range missiles into Russia now.
Yeah.
I'm sure Putin's like, oh, you're walking the scary line there, NATO, US, whatever. I mean, you could almost make US and NATO like they're almost like, yeah, brother
I
sister.
do not want to be the next Nagasaki.
Yeah, it's I don't know, but
Yeah.
it's interesting to watch as we push uh our agenda. Anyway, things to think about. There's resources there.
Yeah.
I mean, if you were Russia or
Well, you were talking to me last night about Russia too, about their way of life over there.
oh yeah, they don't have they are a democracy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like $500 a month, you could live like $1,000 a month there. A kid could work at fast food there, and he can afford an apartment
You
there, by himself.
gotta have two jobs here to do that as a kid.
Yeah, you don't move out of the house. So it's different. Yeah, their wages are lower. Um, they have everything we have here. They have Coca-Cola, all these sanctions, but you know what they don't have? Fructose corn syrup, and
Yes.
all their sodas are made with cane sugar.
Hmm.
No GMOs allowed there.
Nice.
You know,
So they're not all fat like Americans.
no, and there are some funny videos about Russians like, don't come to Russia. In the United States, you guys like your rats in New York. We don't have rats in Russia. They've really cleaned up their streets. It's a very clean country,
Yeah.
and they're like, don't come to Russia, Americans. You like fat people. We don't have fat people in Russia. Like,
And
but a lot of it's the food.
and just so you know, we are doing a special this week. If you want to buy a fat person, um, again, just 19.99.
An hour. 19.99 an hour by a fat person. Um,
We don't sell rats, though. No
Yeah,
rats.
but it's like I said before, if you live better overseas
Yeah.
than you do here, and I think a lot of it's just our I don't know if it's our water or processed foods, but like yeah, people that go to Italy and they're like, I can eat the bread here, and I was like,
Yes.
gluten problems. I'm like, well, it's not gluten. Is it the yeast? We use the synthetic yeast here. I'm like, what is it?
Or the flour is different here as well too.
Maybe it's GMO. Like,
Yeah.
so, I don't know. And I'm not saying necessarily all GMO is bad. I mean, they're able to make stuff, and
I like
we're able to feed the world, but is some bad, some good? Is it all good? Like, I don't know enough.
I like the glow in the dark cow idea. That was they were trying to mix a firefly gene with a cow
So at least you can see them
at night.
at night when they
Easier for cow tipping, you know?
Genghis. How did you know? Oh, Genghis. Yeah, yeah. Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Sure, all the predators would be like, yeah, make it glow. You do that to deer. Yeah, they'd be running all night.
Man, can you imagine like if like coyotes were like glow in the dark? Like
Then
how many
there's
dead coyotes there would be? Because they go attack people's chickens, small animals, children. You ever go coyote hunting?
I did once.
I want to go.
We had to put a little sound thing and it sounds like a dying rabbit. And
Oh, okay.
thing came in, but it was as it was coming in and it got spooked off. So
You did with ARs, right?
no, I think we have 270
Okay.
that time. I was with a friend. I wasn't
'Cause I hear a lot of people do it with ARs. I don't know. I don't know if that's legal to hunt with ARs.
Uh, I don't know what the state. Some states,
I'll have to look that up.
coyotes may not matter, but hunting deer and stuff, some states don't allow.
Yeah,
And small.
I would use /6 for my deer and an elephant.
Oh dear,
Oh baby.
baby. Um, but anyway,
Keep going.
so but we live in an amazing world, and
Yeah.
there's so much to see, and there's beauty everywhere you
Oh
go.
yeah.
If you're looking for it, and there's pros and cons to every country in the world, and so
So
I don't.
Rick's saying if you don't like America, there's a lot of better options for you. Get out. Oh
I'm not opposed to retiring outside the U.S.
man.
I'm like, why not live in a tropical
Oh
place?
yes.
Why not? Um, at least while the dollar's strong, like.
Oh yeah.
But I'm not opposed to that. I think the world's a beautiful place. It's great to see things, and you just got to know the rules where you're going.
Yeah.
Like in China, yeah, there were things you just don't take a picture of that. But other than that, you can go wild anywhere else.
Wait, what can't you take a picture of in China?
Oh, there's some statues you're not supposed to take pictures of,
Oh, I didn't know that. But
but you took them anyway.
no wonder they won't let me back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now they'll take your phone and take your memory card.
I told them, oh, I here for egg roll.
Yeah.
Oh.
Now, but China's an amazing place too. I mean, what
Oh yeah.
they're engineers, and maybe they got something to prove. But like the Three Gorges Dam, the largest dam in the world, they're bullet trained in Shanghai. They're like, oh, fastest in the world. Like their engineers are working, they're
Oh yeah.
creating stuff. Somehow in the United States, I think we've simplified things into boxes. We're like, oh, let's do a box. So a lot of the detailed architecture and things and ornate stuff, I don't see it very much anymore.
I think too, a good part of Americans are just lazy. Like my mom had a guy renting a room from her in California, 44 years old. All he did was play video games all day. Like how?
It also could be just if things are so expensive here, then you build walls. Where if you had surplus of if you had surplus money, then you're like, yeah, let's spend an extra few $1 million and add, a nice archway or this or that or stained glass windows or whatever they want to do and add some art. But
Yeah, but I'm talking about a grown man
yes,
playing video games all day.
yeah, that's what I'm gonna do next. I don't play video games.
And you see that a lot in our country. They teach laziness, and you have companies and work ethic. You've had guys. I'm sure you're like, yeah, you gotta go.
Yeah, yeah, and even my kids, they a lot of screen time. I mean, I do a lot of screen time. I'm always looking at stuff, and I'm like,
Yeah, not me.
and it is, and I get bored with it. I'm like, I'm so bored, but I can't stop swiping.
Like earlier on the show, you saw me on my phone. I forgot to send Ryan's name over to that lady. I was doing that real quick. She's
Yeah,
like, "You're missing a name," but whenever possible, my phone is like that away.
yeah,
'Cause I don't like it. I had a friend that was oh no, my mom. I put her in at a KOA on her way back to Arizona because she was has a camper van and had no cell reception. I go, oh mom, that would be heaven for me.
yeah.
Going somewhere with no cell reception? Yes, please sign me up.
So I heard a quote today, and it said, "The best way to keep a prisoner from escaping is never let him know he's in prison." And sometimes I think the brainwashing in our society kind of does that to us. You know, yeah, we pay a lot of taxes, and people go, taxation is theft. But if you don't pay it, you can go to jail.
Yeah.
So is that extortion? Like it's crazy. Another thing about money, as we wrap things up here, uh, I was kind of learning about money laundering, and everybody needs to know this. How to wash your money. important to have clean money. Uh, Granted, it had to do with politics and whatever. And so the guy was painting a scenario, right? So he's like, you got Ukraine, and if we give Ukraine billions of dollars, now the Ukrainian budget doesn't have to put money in the war effort. They can spend their billions of dollars elsewhere. And so
Like buying weapons from us.
they invest it, or they can put it into the packs, or they can invest it here or there. It's just like you get $3,000 a month is what you get paid, and that covers your bills.
Yeah, I wish.
I give you $3,000. Now all your bills are covered. Now you can spend your $3,000 of hard-earned money and donate it or put it elsewhere. And so um, it gives things distance, arm's length, different books, different accounting.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You never saw it or it looks legit. Well, he spent his own money on that, but he only makes 3,000 a month. How did he do it? Well, someone else gave him money, so
Hmm.
so he could do that. They kind of do it with donations too.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we had a bookkeeper moved stuff around so much, changed accounting companies a few times, and almost made it impossible to see it. But all of a sudden, like when we were doing an audit, like when we just randomly decided to do one, $60,000 was missing, and it was hard to catch it because there was so much movement and arm's length was going on.
Yeah,
So I see what you're getting at.
yeah.
Yeah,
So that's how they launder money. So donating or funding things overseas,
yeah.
they get their
Oh yeah.
they get their money.
That's why Kamala Harris, it's believed,
Helping the
allegedly,
homeless.
allegedly, when she came into office, she was worth $1 million.
29,
26 or 29 million now.
26 million. Yeah.
After all the money is being sent overseas, and people are saying allegedly, she and others are getting some of that back.
Or they know,
I use the word allegedly.
or they're told where to invest,
Yes,
which I don't know, insider trading.
we're about to start a brand new facility that does this. You're going to want to put your money in it,
Yeah. Be
and
government
you
backed.
you go ahead and sign that we can do it, and then you'll be one of the first people to make a crap ton of money on it. Like the batteries, 14, what do you call it? Whatever.
Group 14,
Yeah, I'm sure there's some stuff going on with any company like that.
potentially. You
Yeah,
never know. You never know.
yeah.
The little guy on the bottom, he just has no clue.
Um, did we bring up the pagers?
Yeah.
We did.
2,700 went boom.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, the videos were nuts. You got any big plans for the weekend?
Oh, there's a lot going on. You got sand scorpions this weekend,
Yeah.
rolling through the mud. I think there's a wedding I got to go to, and then I don't know,
I'm gonna give you some cards so you can repeat.
karaoke at Rick's
I love
Friday,
karaoke at
Saturday.
Rick's.
So birthday parties coming in.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. Lots going on. Oh, we got our little potluck football Sundays
Nice.
for the Seahawks.
BYOF.
Yep. Kind of
Bring your own frog.
bring your own frogs.
Oh, food. Sorry. Awesome. So, folks, you'll see a lot more of that. It's my fault with the inconsistency because there's some medical issues. If you're not having guests on, which we're working on getting those, you'll see where Rick is just bringing you the news and what's going on. And you got something you want to chat about, let us know. We forgot to mention that because you are listening, you're obligated now to like, share, and subscribe. There's no way of getting out of it, so just do it. And sign up for Rumble. It's a free account. Doesn't cost you any money. You don't enter a credit card or anything. Just go to rumble.com and sign up there, and you can catch all of our videos. It's a great platform to watch any of your favorite people you watch on YouTube, even. Yeah, it's unfiltered, so it's a free speech platform.
I'm filtered, but it's unfiltered.
He filters me,
Oh,
or his mother
I was
does.
supposed to say direct with the money laundering, directly funded indirectly. Those are my notes. Directly funded indirectly.
Yeah, I was supposed to give him crap for that too.
Yeah, too late. All
Got
right.
out of it.
All right. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Hopefully, you learned a little bit about this battalion in the Ukraine. That's something that you're not going to see too many places.
Yeah. Look them up.
And protect your six. At least.